Join the movement. Listen to legendary journalist Milton Allimadi talk Sahel states, African leaders, and African youths. Watch the full ad-free reason now, only on www.inevernewtv.com Premium.
I'd like to break that one down from the top, the difference between poverty and being impoverished, and the economic cycle that puts Africa on top collectively for debt.
It's very simple. Because let's say, okay, and here's the saddest part about it. Before the European intervention that really redirected Africa on a course where its economies were reoriented to benefit Europe, African countries, African regions had been trading even before some European countries existed.
Oh, I want to add, I was reading Eric Williams in Slavery and Capitalism recently.
Or is it Capitalism and Slavery?
Capitalism and Slavery, Slavery and Capitalism.
Brilliant book by a brilliant guy.
You know when you read stuff over and over, you see things you didn't see the first time. And he was breaking down in regards to the people they were enslaving weren't unskilled people. These were skilled people.
These, of course, were the best.
So I'm analyzing, if you have a society or you have a community where not only the men have been extracted, but the skilled men have been extracted, what do you expect to become of that environment? It's like the real brain drain, the original brain drain.
Yeah. No, absolutely. And in addition to that, okay, so now you take the best of the best, building wealth in the so-called New World, right? And allowing England to become essentially the first industrialized country in the world. That is the amount of profit that they produced for England. And then, of course, with manufacturing capitalism. In fact, and here's the funniest part, not funny, but preposterous, that England then takes credit for being at the forefront of ending slavery and the slave trade. But what is not said is that England needed to end slavery and the slave trade because it was harming the development of industrial manufacturing capitalism. It wasn't that they woke up one day and said, oh, you know what? I feel guilty for what we've been doing to Africans. So now let's end plantation slavery. No, they had to end it because they needed people to be employed in their factories, not to be locked up on plantation. That was old school capitalism, you see? Now, they didn't want that type of capitalism based on trade and commerce. No, they wanted trade and commerce, but in manufacturers. And you wanted those people to be released from the plantations to be literally in the new form of enslavement, which is low wages in factories. You pay them salary and they buy the same products that you're making. And that is why they they became at the forefront of abolishing slavery. And I'm glad you brought this up because Eric Williams' book, Capitalism and Slavery, explains that process in the most brilliant way. And of course, as I was saying earlier, even before some European states existed, Africa was trading with the Far East, trading with China. You know, we're talking antiquity, right? Trading along the Indian Ocean. Even within Africa itself, they had trade routes, right? So Africa was having its own type of organic growth, you see? And the economic levels, if you read Walter Rodney's How Europe Underdeveloped Africa, at a certain stage, they were on equal levels. In fact, some African regions were doing better than some European regions. But then after, and Rodney also talks about one other destructive aspect of slavery that is rarely discussed, the wars that were triggered, because now you created this industry where you turn African collaborators instigating these wars to capture other Africans to send to the New World. So this this led to the collapse of production of food. It led to starvation. So Rodney discusses there was one time in history For a whole century, Africa was the only continent where the population did not grow.